Welcome back to the elephant in the room. If you've been here before, then I would like to welcome you home. If this is your first time here, then I'm really glad you found your way to this space. This is the kind of podcast where we talk about the things people usually keep tucked away. The struggles, the doubts, the hard questions, and the uncomfortable truths that church culture doesn't always make room for. And we talk about them honestly, with scripture underneath it all. So if you're ready to get rid of your elephants in the room, then as I said before, I'm glad you found your way to this space. But if you have a made-up mind that you're going to hold on to your elephants, then you might not want to listen to this show. My name is Pastor James, and this is The Elephant in the Room. You know, I was just sitting here looking outside my window. It's about 12:30 a.m. here in Richmond, Virginia, Glen Allen, the suburbs of Richmond, Virginia. And when I say suburbs, don't think that I'm living high on the hog, because we're struggling just like everybody else in this world. But you know, the name of the show is The Elephant in the Room. And I'm glad that you decided to come back and join me once again. But there has been definitely some things that really been riding heavy on my mind, and I try to be bipartisan in everything that I think, literally, even if I am a Democrat. You know, I try to have a bipartisan mindset. And I'm going to just be very transparent. What I see taking place with this administration, and I may lose some friends over this, but what I see taking place with this administration, I cannot continue to avoid it or not talk about it. I mean, how can I have a show entitled The Elephant in the Room if I don't say something about what we're seeing out of this administration? You know, every day since this administration has taken over, we are completely barraged by headlines and headlines and headlines and headlines that are designed and derived to pull us away from the big picture. It's always some type of breaking news or some type of new executive order, or might be a new court filing of some sort. There may even be a report of retaliatory tariffs. There is always the latest shock and awe announcement. But when you zoom out and pull back the curtain on the entire political strategy, there is indeed a clear and sober reality that starts to emerge. This country, we were promised, and I'm for sure there were a lot of people that supported this administration that's scratching their heads right now saying, I can't believe what I'm seeing. $4, $5 a gallon gas. I'm sure some of these supporters are scratching their head right now. But this country, we were promised that we was going to make, or that the administration was going to make America great again. The American strength would return, prices would fall, and the American worker would finally become victorious. But you know what? When I look around and I look at the local grocery store, my grocery bill, let alone $160, sure do not stretch the way it used to stretch. Trust me when I say this. When I look at our community, and when I look at the sheer level of exhaustion in people's eyes, I have to take a deep breath, a deep sigh. You know, the fundamental truth of this era is simple. In a nation governed by division, unpredictability, and ego, come on, man. How many more buildings gotta have his name on it? But when a nation is governed by that division, let's separate everybody, have everybody fighting, unpredictability. You know, we don't know what's going to happen today, tomorrow, or the next day. Ego. I'm going to take this name down and put my name up. I'm going to put this over here. When we have all that stuff going on, no, there's actually no winner there. I mean, nobody wins. And the math, come on, y'all. The math just does not add up. The social fabric does not hold. And then eventually, all of what we're seeing, the bill will come due. And guess who's going to be responsible for that bill? Every single American is going to be forced to pay that bill. And the working family and the mirage of the return of the middle class, the mirage of economic strength. Are you serious? There is no middle class. It's rich and poor. There is no middle class. I'm sorry. Me and my wife, we have taken to the point to where we when we cook at home, we're cooking dinners that can stretch for 4 or 5 days. And there's nobody in my house but me, my wife, and a cat. I would hate to be a family of 5 or 6 trying to make meals every night and maybe try to save some leftovers and put it back on the table. We were told that massive tariffs and aggressive economic isolationism. I'm going to have to calm myself down. My wife always tell me, she said, baby, calm down whenever I'm ministering the word because I get excited. And when I was doing my research for this, you know, I was cringing with everything that I was pulling out in my research. But aggressive economic isolationism, we were told that it would protect domestic industry. But listen to this. Economics do not bend to promises. Economics respond to reality. Tariffs are not a tax paid by foreign governments. Tariffs is a tax that is levied directly on the supply chain. And then it's passed down line by line by line until it hit our cash register. Yes, that's where the tariffs go. We are paying the tariffs at our local grocery store, at our local hardware store. And all you auto part car enthusiasts, you think you're saving money by not going to the garage to have your car repaired? Well, guess what? It's hitting your auto parts shop too. When you disrupt global trade out of spite or political theater, you don't build American strength. What you do is you actually build uncertainty. Small businesses, the mom and pop businesses, they cannot plan 6 months ahead because they don't know what new import tax or trade dispute will drop on them on a whim. And the farmers, oh my goodness, the farmers who spent decades cultivating international buyer relationships watch those very markets evaporate overnight. Why? Because the trade partners are retaliating against the tariffs that this administration has placed. And who absorbs all that cost? Who absorbs it? It is not the billionaires or corporate insiders who hold tax shelters and political access. It's the poor truck driver out there driving 10, 11, 12 hours a day. The factory worker, the independent contractors, And of course, the family who is trying to stretch a paycheck across rising interest rates and inflated everyday goods. Right now, if you're a two-family income, because of the rate of inflation, you might have two people working. You might have two incomes coming in the house. But guess what? One of those incomes is completely being absorbed because of the rate of income. So if you bring home $4,500 a month, cut it in half. When policies prioritize short-term headlines over economic stability, guess what? The working class does not get elevated. The working class actually gets stepped on, squeezed out. I always say squeezed. My wife said that's not a word. But that's what's happening. That's what's happening. The working class is being squeezed out or squeezed out, literally. And what about the foundation of this country? The foundation of this country has literally been hollowed out. Beyond the balance sheet lies something even more vital. The basic integrity of our public institution is gone. It's gone. When a functioning republic relies on quiet, reliable competence, it relies on nonpartisan experts who can monitor public health, maintain emergency response infrastructure. I was just told a story about a good friend of mine whose house was burnt down because the volunteer firefighting team that showed up at his home showed up with two tankers. That was, oh my God, how can that happen? Two tankers that showed up that did not have water in the tankers, y'all. And his house literally burned to the ground. Why can that firefighting unit not have had one paid firefighter on staff on duty? His house is gone. So when a functioning republic relies on quiet reliability and competence, you don't have to worry about emergency infrastructure being maintained. You don't have to worry about fair labor practices. And our civil rights laws, if Dr. Martin Luther King was here right now today, he will be shaking his head because everything that he stood for, everything that he fought for is being wiped right off the books. Family, when an administration treats the civil service not as a public trust, but as an enemy to be purged and weaponized, that's what's happening, or even hollowed out for political loyalty, guess what? The whole country loses its safety net. When experienced scientists, career diplomats, and veteran public servants are pushed out in favor of political ideologues, guess what? The government doesn't become efficient. It becomes what it is, broken. We saw it when disaster relief funds were bottlenecked by bureaucratic chaos. We see it right now when public health agencies have been stripped of scientific vetting in favor of political optics. That's what's happening right now to our country. Look, y'all, democracy is more than just a collection of speeches or elections every 4 years. Democracy is the invisible plumbing of a free society. And when you smash the plumbing to prove a point, everyone's house gets flooded. So what's the cost of global and domestic discord? What is the cost? What about our place in the world, in this world? For nearly a century, American leadership wasn't built purely on military muscle. It was built on trust, predictability, and alliances. When an administration berates historic allies, and yes, it has been done quite frequently, while cozying up to authoritarian regimes, when trade agreements are torn up on impulse, and when foreign policy is conducted via late night social media rants, are you serious? Our global standing shrinks. Our allies stop relying on us. And our adversaries, yes, they have. It has been happened. They stop respecting us. Our adversaries, they just simply wait on us. They just sit and wait us out. Because they know that American commitment is no longer there. It carries an expiration date. And it has expired a long time ago. And right here at home, the greatest damage, in my opinion, is happening right here between neighbors. I got some neighbors right next door to us. Will not speak, look at us, and scurry in their homes. I've tried to speak to them on a couple occasions. I wave and speak in a wave and no return. But that's okay because they have been conditioned to basically silo themselves off because of what's happening in this world. And that's okay. The politics of this country has deliberately engineered a zero-sum game. For me to win, listen to this. For me to win, you must suffer. For my group to succeed, your group must be targeted. Communities are pitted against communities. Veterans, public servants, teachers, immigrants, working parents. Everyone is assigned a side in an endless culture war designed to keep us looking at each other's throats, while the real concentration of wealth and power remains entirely unchecked. And what is the elephant in the room? What is the elephant in the room? Where does that leave us? It leaves us with a very stark, undeniable realization. Short-term outrage is a terrible substitute for real governance. When you add up the economic volatility, the gutted institutions, the frayed alliances, and the intentional erosion of social trust, you realize that this vision of power offers no long-term future for absolutely nobody. Even those who thought they were voting for a wrecking ball to fix the system, yes, you guys with the MAGA hats on, eventually realized that when the roof collapsed, it falls on everyone inside the house. And that's exactly what happened. You wanted a bull, you got a bull. The administration is a bull and a wrecking ball. And guess what? You got exactly what you wanted. The roof has collapsed with all of us in the house together. Look, I was told this by my dad a long time ago. Real strength isn't cruelty. Real leadership doesn't demand total fear or thrive on chaos. Real progress comes from the hard, patient work of building things up, not tearing them down. It's easy to break things, but it takes real courage, discipline, and unity to heal those things. And that is the truth that we have to face. You know, family, I trust in God. I have been chasing after the things of God for a long time. And I put all my trust in God. The ups, the downs, the highs, the lows, everything, I put all my trust in God and the Word of God. And despite what we see, I have learned to look past what the world want to show me. And I see what He has for me. I don't want to sound like I got it all figured out because I'm still working on it. I'm still trying to figure it out, but I trust in God. And I believe no matter what I go through, no matter the highs or the lows, I believe that my Creator is going to get me through it anyway. But at the same time, we cannot be walking around with shutters on over our eyes and not speak about what we see. Because that wouldn't be right of me at all. So, I want to leave you with this word today. It comes from Proverbs chapter 29, verse 2. And this is what it reads. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when a wicked man rules, the people groan. And that's what we're doing right now, y'all. But we got to trust in God. Wisdom is not complicated. It doesn't hide behind political spin or media spectacle. Scripture remains. And they're there to remind us that true authority is measured by the well-being of the people, not by fear, not by division, and not by the sound of a roaring crowd. When leadership lacks righteousness, integrity, and humility, an entire nation feels the weight of that burden. So my word of wisdom to you today is this, or I should say tonight is this. It's very simple. Do not let the groaning quiet your voice. Do not let the chaos dim your light. In times of deep division, your integrity is your armor. Protect your peace, stand firm in truth, and continue to look out for one another. We must look out for one another because leadership starts right at home in how we care for our neighbors and how we refuse to give up on truth. Thank you very, 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 very much for spending this last 25 minutes with me tonight. If this message resonated with you, I want you to do me a big favor. Please take a moment to share this episode. Leave us a rating or a review and subscribe wherever you get your podcast. Sharing these episodes is the single best way to support the show. Help us grow this community and keep these essential conversations going. My name is Pastor James. This has been The Elephant in the Room. And I can't wait until we get back with each other again. I trust in God. I believe that the righteous will prevail. He told me that he is a creator and that he will never leave me nor forsake me. And he will always be right there for me. So there is a kingdom that is far greater than the kingdom that man has created. And I'm going to stand firm. And I'm going to continue to bring these type of podcasts to your ear. Because when we unite together, there is absolutely nothing that no man or no creation can do, because there's only one king. And his name is Jesus Christ Almighty. Until next time, I love you. My name is Pastor James. And until next time, keep your head up. Don't look down, and let God lead your path. Because no matter where he leads you, you're being led by your Creator. Peace.
And the shepherd be sure. One day I will see the pattern stitched